All right, so next step while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and drill the 3/8 inch holes on each side. I'll have to get those marked. I'll get them marked in the radiator first. I'll drop the radiator down in place and then transfer the marks onto this bracket, and that will let me get everything drilled, and I can get the radiator, bolt the bracket back, get the radiator bolted in place. I'm not too worried about mounting right now. I'm just going to get it where the mount's ready to use, and I'll snug things up. But there's still a little bit of movement that's going to happen. So when I put some top rods in to brace the top of that radiator, if I need to do a little bit of playing around with, level front to back and all that kind of stuff, I'll be able to do that. But I've got pressure with that motor in there down on the front end, but I have not notched out my frame yet. So I think I'm going to maybe drop down another 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. That's not going to mess with those angles too bad, but it will give me... Oh, sorry about that. So I haven't notched out that frame yet, and when I do that, I think I'm going to drop down a little bit more. Like I said, that's not going to mess with angles too bad, but with getting everything set up side to side, that's going to be good. And I'm seeing the screen right now. I'm hoping the last part of this video is not upside down. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. All right, I know that's kind of a weird angle. You've got the above the engine view of what's going on here. So I've got the bracket back in place. It's tight. So again, I've got 5/16 bolts mounting it on each side, and then I drilled 2 holes here that are 3/8. Before I did those 2 holes, I did 2 11/16 holes in the radiator flanges. So that's the outer diameter of this inside plug. And hopefully you don't totally lose the view here, but what I've got going on is in each of the mounts, I've got that 11/16 hole, and those will drop down over those rubber pieces that I just placed in there. So you can see down in there the way that rubber plug lines up really nice in that hole. And then to mount these in place, I've got a 3/8 bolt and a washer. And I think it's a rule that you got to drop it once because it's a tight spot. So that'll go down in, and then I'll put a nut on the bottom. And I had the nuts in my hand, and I set them down somewhere. So I'll have to find those, but I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then that'll mount the radiator on the bottom. All right, the radiator's bolted in place on the bottom, and it's actually quite solid. I mean, if you ran it like that with your hoses on there, you might get away with it, but I'll go ahead and put some type of a bracket going back probably a couple of rods, or maybe the Model T style, the one rod down the center is going to cause me problems. I can already see that with the carb and the air cleaner, so I'll probably do a couple of rods off of here going back to the firewall. And then the way it's sitting in there now, I can run the Model T shell. So that's the plan. That's the plan there. And then, like I showed you earlier, I've got that part of the radiator that's sticking out down below. So I think what I'm going to do is, this is the bottom trim piece for the bottom of that radiator shroud, and I'll have to make a new piece, I think. Or maybe not. That piece is going to fit. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if I can pull the camera out of there. Sorry about that. So that piece is going to fit up underneath there. I'm going to have to do a little trimming on it, but it'll look like a bottom of the radiator shelf, so that's going to look pretty sweet. And then whatever screen or protector I use in there, I'll just go ahead and cut a piece that'll work on the bottom as well, and it can drop right down behind the frame rail. I left some spacing in there for that, so that should work out pretty well.